semi-tropical herb, but we grow it as an annual and dig the root in October. This year. Pardon me? Oh, this year. Yeah, it doesn't overwinter always here. Sometimes it gets wet, we'll kill it, and cold. I've had it over winter, but it's too big of a chance to wait. And that's the way they do it in India. They do it in a year. So,
when do you plant the seeds?
we planted these in March. Seeds. They're always in charge of the greenhouse stuff.
Do you start them in the greenhouse then?
Start them in the greenhouse. We transplant everything here except burdock, calendula, corn, right there, and California poppy and blessed thistle. Those are the only ones that we direct seed. The reason we transplant is a lot of these plants, like this has been in for a month, barely grown at all, but the weeds are going nuts. So if you put a transplant in the ground, you gain like at least a month over the weeds. You've got a big plant you can see and don't go in and weed. If we direct seed this, it would be a nightmare to try to weed it and everything. So we've gone mostly to transplanting almost everything. Unless it's a very fast-growing, quick germinating crop like blessed thistle and calendula and corn, it's very easy. It comes up in 2 days. So,
how big will it get by October?
Not this high.
Oh yeah, there's like the massive growth spurt is still coming.
It's an amazing plant. I love the look of the field. It has very inconspicuous flowers, no real pretty flowers, but just the texture of the leaf and everything is just different from anything else. We transplant with a 4-row machine where
crazy.
4 people sit in these chairs and they have the flats. And then there's, on the ground, there's this little wedge shoe thing that opens the ground up. And then they're dropping plants in this carousel that drops them in. That's awesome. We can, this was planted 12 inches apart. We can adjust the spacing. But we used to plant everything by hand until 94, and then our knees are giving out, so we got to do something different. So, we can do about 3 acres a day in a good day, transplant.
What do you do for the weed control?
What do we do for weed control? Well, transplanting is the first thing, and what we've done is, I'll show you a cultivating tractor, but the tractors that come down, and 4 rows at a time, they have these steel shovels that cut really close to the plant, and then they've got some shovels in back in the middle. And then I've got this other thing I'll show you. It's a little tine weeder, and almost exactly 2 weeks after these are transplanted, they're actually rooted in pretty well. You go right over the top of the plants with this tine weeder, and it gets all the little germinating weeds, not all of them, but a lot of them. And I've done that to this field, and it has not been weeded yet this year. So our biggest expense in this farm is weeding. Tremendous expense in organic farms. Talk to any organic farmer and they'll tell you probably the same thing. That's why we've got a field of 10 doing it most of the time this time of year. There's always a lot of things to weed. So the more weed control things you have, the better to do. I even have a burner that, like before the corn comes up, it's a propane burner, and it has these flames that shoot down right on the row. And the day before the seeds come up, we burn the weeds off. And the next day the plant pops out of the ground, and you've got a clean field for a little while. That's another thing. Just many things that we try to do. Because you have to have a clean field to harvest these. The root crops may be not so important because they're big roots that come in and are bigger will shake out anything else. But for the leafy things, we really need to have a clean field before we harvest. All right, let's go this way.
Bright green one down.